It is 9 o'clock. This is BTV News coming to you live from the capital, Gaborone. I am Mahalapye. The headlines. Government and the business community challenged to collaborate towards improvement of livelihoods. Mahalapye District Council needs 120 million pula for internal roads infrastructure.
And in sports, the BNSC releases nominees for the 44th Sports Awards.
Khosogonkwe joins us a bit later in the bulletin to give us sports news. Interpreting in sign language is Topo Taposa. Good evening. President Advocate Duma Boko has challenged the business community to take responsibility in addressing challenges faced by Botswana, such as poverty, unemployment, and inequality. The president said this during the high-level business engagement forum in Gaborone, noting that government and the business community should both work towards ensuring improvement of livelihoods. Monica Siswaila.
The first engagement between the new government and the business community ignited a fierce debate between government and the private sector on how to do things better for the country. This marked a significant milestone in creating a path to revitalize the economy and address unemployment, inequality, and fiscal challenges facing the country.
You must demonstrate some care and concern about the circumstances in which these employees of yours exist. And you must make it your business, as business, to attend to their business. So we articulate decent jobs. And I make another proposition which I make boldly, and I make intransigently, I make unapologetically. These decent jobs must attract decent living wage. I articulate a baseline, a standard below which our people must not be allowed to exist. We've put a figure to it. We say 4,000. That's the living wage.
The private sector, which plays a vital role in stimulating economic growth, expressed its readiness to partake in the journey that government seeks to take. However, noting the need to change some models that have stifled the sector in the past.
In the last 15 years, we've seen a lack of dialogue, a lack of contestation of ideas between private sector and the public sector. We've seen the proliferation of state-owned enterprises, left, right, and center, crowding out private sector. That has become a norm over the last 15 years. But we then say we are a private sector-led economy.
We are expanding access to the debt market in collaboration with the Botswana Bond Association to allow more Botswana and more international investors participation. This year, the BSC will launch a dedicated SME fund, and it will provide capital to SMEs that can't access bank loans. It's already underway.
The platform marked the beginning of what government calls a result-oriented partnership with the private sector, aimed at unlocking investment opportunities, enhancing the ease of doing business, and driving sustainable economic growth. Monica Siswaila, BTV News, Gaborone.
Still at the high-level business engagement forum, Business Botswana President Neo Ngwako says Botswana needs to prioritize artificial intelligence technologies and environmental social governance ESG to enhance ease of doing business. Ngwako is of the view that successfully creating such an environment will position Botswana as the hub of AI in Africa, as well as end youth unemployment.
If there's anything that presents a huge opportunity for us to stake our claim as a country, especially in the region and especially in Africa, It's around digital enablement. It's around digital economy. We talk about youth unemployment, but if you go back over the last 15 years and see the number of graduates that have graduated from the various institutions in Botswana, you throw a stone, you hit a graduate in Botswana. That's reality. Most of them have done some form of IT in one of the universities or colleges around. So we just need to retool them to the modern needs. Let's be deliberate and say, Botswana, we are going to be an artificial intelligence hub of the continent, and be very focused around that. Let's create a framework that will enable us to create that new industry. It's a low-hanging fruit because we already have the capabilities. It's not a heavy lifting. You don't need extra funding.
Various exhibitors from Botswana, Germany, South Africa and other countries have appreciated this year's Jwaneng Mining and Industrial Exhibition, noting that it has given them the opportunity to showcase advanced technological products in the detection of accidents, as well as showcasing expertise in reaching areas where minerals are concentrated. The organizer, Mr. Andrew McNamara, said they had attracted over 70 different exhibitors. Emmanuel Rapowa.
Mining processes are often complex and require skilled and seasoned experts to handle in order to avert accidents, cut costs, and improve efficiency. The sector is highly complemented by diverse companies manufacturing high-end products which have greatly improved efficacy in mining processes. It is on this note that these exhibitors have come to showcase their products in the diamond mining town of Jwaneng.
Everything has actually turned out very, very nicely. We have got over 70 suppliers here today. As in the rest of the week, we've had about 70 suppliers. You know, the reason why we do this is to create those networking opportunities, like I said. You know, Jwaneng has got really big projects on the go. They've got an underground project which was approved last year. We've brought different suppliers that are relevant to open cast, as well as because they've got to finish obviously their cuts, then go underground simultaneously.
What stood phenomenal is Botswana-owned businesses playing an active role in the business space to compete well in the mining sector.
We have the right expertise. Renale bomantsutsuidi ba go thuntsha. Ha o bua ka go thuntsha re teng re le Botswana, TMS e berekwa ke Botswana thata. We have 3 site foremen ga mmogo le the operation manager ke Motswana. The sort of like the country manager ke Motswana, and the 3 site foremen ke Botswana, ke bashmanela ba ba dirileng diploma tsa mining. So now re teng mo Botswana ebile we are capable of doing the right thing.
This expo for us has actually been a successful expo, considering in Botswana now has started embracing underground mining, because most of your mines predominantly were open cast. Botswana, I think they've already started. They're actually in development stages for the underground phase. So most of our systems here will talk to you underground. That's your gas detection, where we actually make sure the people that are underground are breathing the proper air they're supposed to be breathing. So our instrumentation can give you warnings when the gas is getting bad. Collision avoidance systems, where we actually stop vehicles from running over people, running over other vehicles in the mining sector, both underground and open cast.
This exhibition is also a perfect platform for potential investors to benchmark and make decisive choices on the type of ventures to opt for. Emmanuel Rapowa, BTV News, Jwaneng.
A total of 8,070 employees will transfer from the Ministry of Health to the Ministry of Local Government and Traditional Affairs. This was revealed by the head of delegation from the Local Government Ministry tasked with rolling out the exercise, Mr. Lusika Mosara, when briefing Charles Hill district councillors during a full council meeting. This transition is to be implemented beginning of April. Angela Enosa with more.
The decision to place primary health care services, which by definition is limited to clinic services, public health and community-based programs, is nothing new, being a practice adopted way back in the 1970s. In 2010, the Ministry of Health took over the reins, a decision now being reversed to be implemented come next month. We are aware that council might take clinics which some have accumulated debt. We also know that most resources used under the primary health services are in various stages of disrepair and that there is also a shortage of resources. We have to try fix all these challenges using a budget which is already running at a deficit. Our current expenditure lending estimates stands at 97 billion bulam, but our resource deficit sits at around 72 billion bulam, which means we have shortfalls. The councillors have reservations regarding the transition. What brought about this decision and what is the justification? Are we still going ahead with doing away with health posts? How much money will be given to councils to run this? We haven't been informed on which laws and policies will govern this transition and if the WHO has been consulted regarding these changes. Meanwhile, Charles Hill District is proving to be fast developing and investors are seizing opportunities that are galore.
The district has so far received 2 prospective partners or the investors. One prospective partners is Choppy's investment company that specializes in supermarkets. And the intent is to have the partnership which envisaged an integrated shopping complex at the Central Business District, site owned by our own district council, which is a welcome development. Another probable investor is interested in establishing the dry port project in Charles Hill District and Kanahas area.
It was revealed that the council will be running at an approved capital development budget of a little under 44 million bulam for the 2024-25 financial year. Angela Enosa, BTV News, Charles Hill.
The Ministry of Health and different unions have agreed to halt transfer of all issues pending litigation related to primary health employees in the ongoing process of relocation of clinics. The Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Health, Ms. Lesego Maeza, said this was a necessary process to ensure the rights of the employees are not violated and that there is progress. She said this in her report at the Jwaneng Special Full Council on relocation of clinics from the Ministry of Health to the Ministry of Local Government and Traditional Affairs. Reports.
The ministry set a human resource committee tasked with the phase 1 process of relocation of clinics to ensure a smooth transition. This process includes transfer of records, 8,070 employees, funds with 155 million development budget and 492 million for recurrent budget. However, there has been close consideration on the well-being of the employees, especially in regards to matters before litigation.
The court order tse dingwe di setse di diragaditswe tse dingwe ka maswabi ka lekgoko la madi ga di se di diragadiwe.
We have court orders. Some have already been carried out while others are halted due to financial constraints. We have, however, decided that those cases will not be transferred to local government and traditional affairs until they've been dealt with.
Really Ministry of Health.
Our hope is for employees to have their matters resolved. We wouldn't want employees to be faced with challenges related to pending court cases as a result of the transition. Though there has been concerns of loss of jobs as a result of the transition, the Ministry of Local Government and Traditional Affairs gave an assurance that there will be no loss of jobs in the process. All the primary healthcare staff from nurses, doctors, intern officers and others will be transferred, but we can confidently assure everyone that there will be no loss of jobs during this transition. On another note, with the shift of employees, the coordinator of DHMT is expected to now operate as a deputy council secretary, considering the bulk of the work which comes with the new development. Somulukai, PTV News, Tlokweng.
Mahalapye District Council is in need of 120 million pula for maintenance of internal roads. Speaking during a full council meeting, the chairperson, Mr. Mahalapye, shared that the internal road network is in a bad state. He added that the situation of some roads was deteriorated by the recent heavy rains, and as such, immediate action needs to be taken to repair them. Lovemore Mario compiled the report.
Mahalapye district has an internal road network of about 760 kilometers, of which 227 kilometers is tarred roads, mostly concentrated in Mahalapye village. 35 kilometers is paved roads and 500 kilometers being sand, earth and gravelled roads. It is said that the majority of these roads were implemented in the late 1990s. Therefore, they have reached their design durability without proper maintenance, thus developing potholes. The council chairperson says this calls for immediate action, with a sum of 120 million pula needed to maintain these roads.
Our roads, either tired or gravel, are in bad state. In the midst of acute budget shortage, the council is trying by all means to backfill the potholes using just the gravel. Some of our gravel roads have cut, culverts got washed away. The council, to maintain existing roads and stormwater drainage facilities to accept standard, will need over 120 million.
Councillors from different wards said more needs to be done to develop their district, which consists of 4 constituencies, being Tswapong South, Shoshong, Mahalapye East and Mahalapye West. However, they expressed happiness towards the construction of the Radisile Pilikwe Road, which has already started.
Mebile segolo bogolo go eng ka haene gore nna ko kgaolong ya me a Tswapong South ne ra amiwa thata ke merwalela e mentsintsi e ileng ya senya ditsela diculvete tsa kategela, mme go supa gore e tare mo nakong dilo tseno di tsibogelwe matshelo a batho a simolo go tsamaya senta sa kgorelediwe ke sepe.
Ramodula Setilo o buile thata ka ba ditsha di land boards gore ka ipalo tsa teng santse di le ko morago, mme ebile kgaolo the ya Shoshong mo Shoshong ka re santse waiting list ya teng tsamaya go mo 4,000 e le gore mo hanele gore go ka bonwa naga kana ka bonwa ditsha.
The council say they will continue to come up with strategies of making more income to develop their district. Among other things, the council has got 600 street lights and 22 tower lights, which are currently operating at the rate of 33%. This needs proper maintenance to reduce crime within the village. Lovemore Mario, BTV News, Mahalapye.
You're still with BTV News at 9 o'clock. The Northwest District Council Chairman, Mr. Itumeleng Kilebetsing, has informed a full council meeting that the council had performed poorly in collecting revenue in the fourth quarter of the 2024-2025 financial year, adding that the revenue support grant from central government was cut by over 14 million, representing 20% of the approved revenue support grant for the financial year. This, he said, forced the council to reprioritize services and therefore not deliver as expected. From the approved budget of 291,667,000 pula, council has to date spent a total of 597 pula, representing 88% of the budget.
Council have managed to collect revenue amounting to 4,579,708 pula 24 tab against the budget of 11,439,530,000, representing 40%. Honorable Councillors, you will agree with me that we are performing badly when it comes to revenue collections, and we have to find ways of maximizing of revenue collections.
The Gaborone City Mayor, Mr. Warabile Mutlaleng, says development projects around the city are ongoing despite financial challenges. The mayor, at the opening of a full session of the Gaborone City Council on Monday, highlighted that among those ongoing projects are roads maintenance works. Tolofelo Tombale reports.
Gaborone City's mayor outlined the status and aims of the council for the current financial year and revealed the biggest challenge it faces, that of funding, not only from the national government but also accumulated through revenue collection.
Rates collection as at end of 2025 by February stands at 74,020,097 TED of the total amount of 695,041,648 Bula Bahaitso. It is very clear that revenue collection is a challenge in our council.
He did, however, share that despite these challenges, there are still important developments the council is pursuing.
Currently for 2024-25 financial year, we are carrying out roads maintenance works, including asphalt overlay, paving and chip seal in various wards within the city. I'm excited to inform you that projects for paving with interlocking bricks have been awarded, and all artisans and service providers for plant and machinery have been identified for all the wards.
There are other proposed projects that they have asked the government to fund.
Gaborone City has submitted a proposal and still await response from Ministry of Local Government and Traditional Affairs for funding. The proposed works include, but not limited to, upgrading of airport roads, of Airport Road, Paul Rantau, Independence, Khabosiretse, Segodisani Bridge, Broadest Drive, as well as asphalt overlay of all major roads of Choma, Michael, Nyerere, Sobuza, and Independence Avenue.
Some councillors revealed that they had concerns following the speech.
Provision of services.
I did hear some promising things around provision of services, but the biggest issue is implementation. But government has shared that their coffers are low. However, we believe that if they were to provide us with 50% of the road levy, it could help council to deliver for residents, especially because it was a source of funding in the previous government.
I
am concerned that there is an area behind Sidibeng Lodge where a road was supposed to be built. I have heard no update on that. The mayor has appealed to all councillors, regardless of party affiliation, to work with the council leadership in addressing the issues the council is confronted with, so they may transform the city into a better one. Tsolofelo Tombale, BTV News, Gaborone.
Khosoronko is standing by with sport news.
Let me thank you, Khomutso, and good evening. This is Khosoronko bringing to you the BOTSWANA Tonight Sports News. And with that, let's kickstart with the top story. The founder and organizer of Sport Business Summit, Mahalapye Oben, says the time has come for all stakeholders to consider a paradigm shift on ways of doing and running sport locally. He says with the proper channels in education, athletes, administrators and everyone involved stands a better chance of earning a living and securing a future in sports. Oben said this in an interview with the BTV Sports Desk as he rolled out the Sport Business Summit roadmap. Kagiso Molelokwa has more.
For a very long time, sport has been regarded as a way of passing time and keeping fit, a mindset Obene wants people to change from.
This is a sport conversation, so the sport conversation must be inclusive of all the stakeholders. Each and every stakeholder, they have a role to play. You know, when you organize an event, it's actually a celebration. It's an amalgamation of everything that is happening around the sport. You include your athletes, your coaches, your referees, your administrators. You are saying, what role can you play in making sure that sport becomes an industry? And you as a referee and you as a coach, you actually benefit from this because it's business. This is the sport industry. So it's inclusive of everyone. Everyone must come and learn from all these experts and all these areas.
He further stressed the importance of bringing on board relevant, skilled and knowledgeable aspects in various sectors.
We have collaborated with Botswana National Olympic Committee. We have collaborated with BAWA, Oversight Authority. We are also in talks with Botswana Accountancy College. And then we have Playmaker. It is owned by Jomo Sono. They do a lot of data analytics for players' performance. We also have Nodesa, like I've mentioned. They have an app, where we are able to load videos, be able to see different players. So we're actually bringing all the best players in the industry.
Obenne, who is also a football expert and author of sport books, further said, with this initiative, Botswana will gain a lot, especially when it comes to talent development for national teams.
We need to scout players from the age of below 20. And one of the take-homes there is, as we'll be doing those scouting, we're going to have cameras, 17 regions, we're going to have 17 cameras. And we're going to gather videos for these young players, and then we're going to send them to Europe. I have guys there for Nodensa. They've always wanted to scout in Botswana. And after that, they're going to select the best players from the 17 regions. And then at the end of the month, we select the best player from all these regions. And we would like people to vote. So it says we need other partners to come in to help us through this initiative. So as they vote, they'll be voting for a player of the month. Imagine it's 9 months. So it means after 9 months, we have 9 players who have an opportunity to go for trials in Europe. So this will help now to develop, our national team in the future.
The first of the 5 phases of the Sport Business Summit, which aims at empowering stakeholders on issues of sport governance and financial management, among others, is expected to be held in Lethakane in April. The second phase will be in Jwaneng and will touch base on strategic management and change management issues. Phase 3 and 4, which will address issues of technical development, coaches education, as well as athlete development and branding, will be hosted in Maui and Mahalapye between August and October, just before the Sport Business Summit, which is expected in Gaborone from November 26th to 28th this year. Kagiso Molelekwa, BTV Sport, Tlokweng.
Moving on, the Botswana National Sport Commission has announced the names of athletes, the sports officials and administrators who have been nominated for the 44th BNSC Sport Awards ceremony scheduled for next month at Fairgrounds Holdings in Gaborone. This year's award ceremony will be hosted under the theme "In Diamond and Heritage," honoring 60 years of the Botswana sporting spirit. Sohovazo Malepa has the full story.
The awards aim to acknowledge and celebrate individuals who have excelled in various sporting disciplines.
This event not only celebrates outstanding performance of our athletes, but also highlights the spirit of resilience, teamwork, and excellence that define our vibrant sporting community. Over the past year, we've been inspired by the extraordinary talent and determination of our nominees. Their hard work, commitment, and passion embody the best of what Botswana sport has to offer. Each nominee has contributed to a legacy of excellence that resonates beyond the playing field, fostering a sense of unity, pride in our nation.
Every nominee announced today has earned their place through hard work,
commitment to excellence. The adjudication process has been thorough and conducted with the highest level of integrity. Our esteemed panel of judges, drawn from diverse backgrounds within the sport fraternity, have worked diligently to assess all entries based on alignment with the set criteria.
Ernest Kumwevu, a 400-meter sprinter, has been nominated for the Junior Sportsman of the Year award. Kumwevu won a bronze medal at the Africa Under-20 Championships, finished in the top 8 at the All-Africa Games, and is ranked 185 globally. He will compete for the award alongside Prince Ngwako, a karateka who secured a silver medal in the Under-21 Komate category at the Commonwealth Championships, as well as Ntungamali Ragwin, a tennis player ranked 261 globally and a two-time ITF J30 champion in Uganda. In the Junior Sports Woman of the Year category, Natalia Banda of chess, Malak Macheng of tennis, and Lusika Motsakgolo of karat will compete for this prestigious title. Additionally, Macheng and Banda will also contend for the Young Promising Athlete of the Year award at the Vunani Annual Botswana Women's Sports Awards this Saturday. For the Sports Administrator of the Year award, Kwanyane Sello of judo, Moses Bansi of athletics, and Kuzanani Motsakgolo of table tennis have been nominated. Meanwhile, in the Sportsman of the Year category, Litsile Tebogo of athletics, Ross Branch of motorsport, and Karabo Motlanka of cricket will battle it out for the top honor. 44th BNSC Awards are built for April 5th in Fairgrounds. Tsagofatso Malepa, PTV Sport, Gaborone.
Botswana's swimming duo of Puni Khaitsewe and Owen Cable have been officially listed as World Aquatics referee and starter respectively, which makes them the first Botswana officials to receive the honors. The accreditation will enable them to officiate at both continental and international top-tier competitions. Khomsos Fako has the story.
The prestigious international recognition granted by the governing body for aquatic sport came after both Khaitsewe and Cable had met the highest standards of officiating, allowing them to referee and start internationally recognized competition under World Aquatics regulations.
Swimming is popular. It's not across Botswana because obviously you are a semi-desert and we don't have pools all around. But what this means, it raises the standard swimming in Botswana. It means when our athletes go out to compete at international meets, they are also competing at a level where they are not called for infractions that they wouldn't have been called for at home.
To be chosen as World Aquatics starter, it goes to show that swimming in Botswana has gone a long way since our humble beginnings, 20 odd years ago. And we do have world-class referees and starters, and it means a lot to me to hold the flag high in international competitions and show what Botswana can showcase.
The achievement is a major step forward for Botswana's swimming development as it enhances the country's credibility and representation on global stage.
Our goal as a national federation is to end up having more than just 2 listed as World Aquatics officials. So the goal is to maybe get, let's say, a minimum of 6 starters, 6 referees. What that means is once I've done these competitions with experience, every time we come back, we share knowledge and we upskill our officials.
We've got a lot of qualified officials in Botswana. Everyone has done the World Aquatics courses. They run them all over the world. Most of us were fortunate enough to do an officials course in Francistown a couple of years back. And then last year in Johannesburg, we again all went and renewed our certification, and so the standard is very high. The officials are held in great esteem.
As World Aquatics listed referee and starter, both are now eligible to officiate at top-tier competitions such as World Aquatics Championship, African Swimming Championships, Commonwealth Games, as well as Olympic Games. Khomezo Sefako, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And that is how we wrap up the BOTSWANA Tonight Sports Desk. Until we meet tomorrow, have a blessed night. Now, let's take a look at the headlines.
Government and the business community challenge to collaborate towards improvement of livelihoods. Mahalapye District Council needs 120 million pula for internal roads infrastructure.
And in sports, the BNSC releases nominees for the 44th Sports Awards.
That is all that we had for you in our news bulletin this Tuesday evening. Hosahongwa in sport, interpreting in sign language was Topo Taposa. Up next is the weather update. BTV News, Ikanyarona.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather forecast. My name is Kumo Cecil Manak. The following are the rainfall amounts recorded this morning at 8. We recorded 36 millimeters at Kole Primary School, 34 millimeters at Cabo Primary School, 30 millimeters at Makunda Primary School, 22 millimeters at Calfontaine Primary School, 14 millimeters at Kanahas Primary School, 10 millimeters at Mamuno Border Post, 9 millimeters at Sane Meteorological Station, 6 millimeters at BB74 Farm, 4 millimeters at Western High Primary School, and 3 millimeters over Khanzi Meteorological Station. Well, this evening, clouds are visible over most areas in our country, with convective clouds visible over some areas of Khanzi and Kalahari district. On Wednesday, we're expecting some partly cloudy conditions over the entire country, while in the morning, we're expecting some mild temperatures over southern Southeast Gaborone and southern central and northeast district, with the minimums ranging between 14 to 15 degrees Celsius. Over the remaining areas of our country, we're expecting some warm temperatures. In the afternoon, warm temperatures are expected over Ngamili and Chobe and northern central district, with maximums ranging between 29 to 32 degrees Celsius. The rest of the country will experience some mild temperatures with maximums ranging between 25 to 26 degrees Celsius. Now, for some cities in SADC, tomorrow expecting some thunder showers over Manzini and Johannesburg. Partly cloudy conditions are expected over Upington, with few patches of clouds expected to be visible over Maseru and Cape Town. We're expecting some showers over Windhoek and Beira, with partly cloudy conditions expected over Lusaka, Harare and Antananarivo. We're expecting some showers over Dar es Salaam and Kinshasa, with some partly cloudy conditions expected over Blantyre and Luanda. That's weather forecast. Have yourself a good evening.
Coming up in this edition of Eye on SADC, EAC and SADC seek to tackle DRC conflict. African countries reaffirm their commitment to addressing gender inequalities. And Namibia's president-elect may expand Presidential Advisory Council. Greetings and welcome to this edition of Eye on SADC. I'm Reinhilde Osiku. Thank you for joining us. Leading this bulletin, the Southern African Development Community and East African Community this Sunday held a joint senior officials meeting to finding a lasting solution on the security situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
A joint senior officials meeting between the Southern African Development Community, SADC, and East African Community, EAC, took place in Harare this Sunday to discuss strategies for achieving a lasting resolution to the ongoing conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC.
Our meeting will consider the EAC-SADC joint roadmap. The roadmap details immediate